Good afternoon, Harlem and Harlems of the world, Abaragani. This is the last day of Kwanzaa, and that day, that principle is Imani, faith. With Kwanzaa, Abaragani really means in the Kiswahili language. What's the word? And the word for the day is Imani, faith. As you know, Harlem Network News is a new media platform. We started at the onset of COVID, and we are still here. Monumental. We started really April of 2020, and here we are. It is 2023, January 1st. Power to the people. We just want to first thank all of you who have supported us and just encouraged us, really had us just keep going. Harlem Network News is the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. We really believe that knowledge is power, and that is what Harlem Network News imparts, giving you information. It's very critical that we tell our own stories. And through that, our audience is informed and then can take action. We are about empowerment and power to the people. This is Harlem Network News. I just want to take a few minutes today to really reflect on what the journey has been for 2022 for us. We have continued to report everything that was happening, ranging from COVID to housing to food insecurity, any violence that is happening in the community, as well as arts and culture, uplifting things and the great things that we are achieving here in Harlem and in the Harlems of the world. It has truly been a journey, and we've been part of that journey. We have really been making things happen. So we are Harlem Network News. You can go to harlemnetworknews.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Clubhouse, and soon to be on public access television, so we can really connect with more people and really spread that word. But I want to just implore you, we are in a fundraising drive like many other television stations, networks, public access, non-for-profits. This is our time. And we do have a financial goal that we have to reach so that we can continue to bring you the news, so we can upgrade what we're doing, so that we can hire more staff. And this is your station. We look in the very near future to actually have you become shareholders in Harlem Network News. But right now, our goal by January 6th, and January 6th is a significant day in Christian religion. January 6th is Three Kings Day, and really it culminates the end of the Christmas season for many Christians. But it's also a significant day for me because my son, Ali Sam Raymond Wisdom Columbo the Shining Star, and as many of you know, I lost my son in 2020, November 5th, to gunshot. And he was shot and killed on the Shinnecock Reservation. The case still is unsolved. And so I'm working with that. But I really want to say that if it happened to have to happen to anyone, as Dr. Yusef Salam of the Exonerated Five said, you got the right one, you got the right thing, because I am not going to stop. I am keeping the legacy of my son alive. And just circling back, January 6th is my son's birthday. My son, Ali, is named after the great Muhammad Ali. and Muhammad Ali is also born in this Capricorn season. So we have a goal to reach for Harlem Network News, and our goal for financing is $4,000 by January 6th. That's just 5 days from now. Okay, and the number 4,000 is for new beginnings, and Harlem Network News at the beginning of this year certainly represents them. So we've got to meet our goal. We've got about $3,000 to go, but I know that we can do that with all of our listeners. Even if you cannot donate like $1,000, $100, $500, or $2,000, donate what you can. $5 and $10 add up if it's all of us. It takes a village. You can go to Zelle, and you can just, our Zelle is Harlem Network News at gmail.com. You can Cash App us, and our Cash App is the $ Harlem Network News. So very easy. It will go directly to us. You will be received and, be able to let folks know that you made that donation to us. So let's make this happen. Yes, we can. Yes, we will. For those of you who are just joining, I am Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News about Ghani. Today is Imani, Day of Faith. I actually am going to reflect on 2022, but I'm really pumped up. I'm charged up. I was had an incredible few weeks here in terms of just Harlem success. I was at Abyssinian Baptist Church last evening for Watch Night. And, Watch Night really has to do with the New Year's, what is called New Year's Eve, but for us, it is Watch Night. It is when the enslaved people were waiting and watching for freedom to come. And I learned something last night, that the first Watch Night service and actually took place at the Abyssinian Baptist Church. I believe at that time the church was probably downtown, but it was celebrated collectively with the Mother AME Zion Church, which is currently right around the corner from the Abyssinian Baptist Church. And at that time, I believe Mother AME Zion Church was downtown as well. But the significance of it is last night for Watch Night, Mother AME Zion and Abyssinian Baptist Church, we celebrated Watch Night together. And it came to my attention from, it was a dual service. The minister from Mother AME Zion preached, the minister from Abyssinian preached, the acting minister that is Reverend Hendrick. And it was so powerful, but the minister from the Mother AME Zion Church, what he shared with us is that the first Watch Night took place at Abyssinian Baptist Church. And there were two ministers there. One of the ministers from Abyssinian was Minister William H. Spellman. And that clicked for me because my grandmother's maiden name is Spellman. So I was like, whoa. But Frederick Douglass was at the first Watch Night. So you heard it first on Harlem Network News. We're always about dropping that message. So just wanted to share that. Just wanted to say that the service last night was so uplifting, so encouraging. And then there was also a service this morning at Abyssinian, and it was really about us keeping the faith and us, even though there may be bad things that happen, out of whatever bad has happened, we got to make an opportunity. And that's us, that's keeping the faith, and that is the resilience. So I really just wanted to share and impart all those things and encourage you to stand firm, stand in love and consciousness. If you have had issues or, whatever it is with anybody, forgiveness, love, send it out. That is how we are going to get through this time. And I also want to just share, because we're in this Kwanzaa time, that Kwanzaa and Harlem Network News, I'm jumping all over the place, but I just want to make sure that I salute Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is an African American holiday, and it started at the onset of COVID. The founder of Kwanzaa, which is Dr. Maulana Karenga, actually graced us with being on Harlem Network News. And you can go right to our YouTube channel and actually listen to the 2020 message that Dr. Maulana Karenga has for us. Kwanzaa is 56 years old. And Google it, I believe that Kwanzaa is older than Hanukkah. You know, I did not know that. So as I said, Harlem Network News is about assuring that everyone is informed. Kwanzaa represents first fruits harvest. Dr. Karenga really started Kwanzaa to empower our people. And he was in the struggle, in the movement, in the fight, you know, for our rights, for our consciousness, for our culture. And that is where Kwanzaa actually comes from. And he carefully designed 7 principles. And the message from Dr. Karenga that is on our YouTube channel is we really need to celebrate Kwanzaa and live the principles of Kwanzaa all year long. A very, very critical and important thing. And the principles and the message of Kwanzaa, it is not just for elders, for older people, it is for everyone. It is for the youth as well. We may have to tweak it a little bit so they get it, but the message is the same. We are speaking truth to power. The principles of Kwanzaa, it's 7 days, starting right the day after Christmas, December 26th, Umoja, which represents unity. And then there is Kuji Chakalia, okay, self-determination. And then there is Umoja, and there's I'm sorry, I'm getting my principles mixed up. There is Ujima, there is Ujama, and Ujima is collective work and responsibility. Ujama is cooperative economics. Nia is purpose. Kawumba is creativity. And Imani is faith. These are principles that we can live and weave into our lives. So I just wanted to say that because this is the last day of Kwanzaa. I'm going to just, this is Harlem Network News. And for those of you who have just joined us, Habaragani, Imani, the principle of faith, which is Kwanzaa. And you can see I'm in my Kwanzaa attire. I have my Kanara set up, and I just want to just lay that ground. I also want to, before I really get started on 2022 reflections, to just pay homage to all of my relations. And I want to pay homage to all of our ancestors. I, of course, want to give a special salute to my son, Samuel Wisdom, Colombo the Shining Star, you know, who was shot and killed in the Shinnecock Reservation November 5th, 2022. And to all of the other ancestors, because many people have marched on, you know, including the pastor Edison Church, the Dr. Reverend Calvin III, that was in the November time. There's also Robert Gums, an incredible graphic artist who wrote many books on Kwanzaa, and many others have mentioned. So we pray for them. We know that they are watching over us. They are guiding us. They are stronger than ever. And you know, so I thank you. So I'm going to just kind of talk about some of the things that have happened in 2022 here in Harlem. I want to salute Community Board 10 that has been working very hard in the community. I encourage everyone in the community to get involved, go to those community board meetings. hold your public officials accountable. You know, here in New York City currently, we got a Black thing going on. We have a Black mayor, we got a Black head of the city council. You know, we have a lot of a Black head commissioner of education. You know, we have a lot going on. We have Alvin Bragg, you know, who is our district attorney. He is from Harlem. You know, young man. We have Sheena Wright, you know, who is the head of the deputy mayor. She's from Harlem. So we've got our people in place. Now the question is to hold all of our public officials accountable. Okay, you know, all of our public officials. We got Congressman Espaillat, you know, who is of Dominican descent. You know, he's right here in the Inwood area. We have Reverend Al Taylor. I'm calling him out. Reverend Al Taylor, State Assembly, Albert Queen, Inez Dickens, State Assembly. We have Christian Richardson Jordan, representing City Council for Central Harlem. We got it going on. You know, we have Mark Levine as the borough president, but we got Keisha Sutton James, okay, as the deputy borough president. We got Cordell Clare as the state senator. So we, as the young people say, we got it popping, okay? So we've got to really hold our public officials accountable. If it's not happening, if things are not happening here in our communities, we have got to take a stand. We got to take them to task. You know, that is what this whole process is about. Our voices must be raised, and Harlem Network News is about raising our voices and taking on the task. And just because they're Black or they're Dominican or whatever the culture is, that does not necessarily mean, it may mean something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they understand what's going on. A lot of times the people at the top don't really know what's happening in the streets. They may not really be walking the streets, or there may be other people, you know, that are in the mix that they've got to be accountable to. So they end up to be accountable to the loudest voices, okay? And those who can put on that pressure. And I know in our community, we are overwhelmed, but we still got to make it happen. We still have to put on our pressure. We got to do it. So let's get busy. Let's get busy. This is not the time for us to lay back and feel like, oh, I'm not voting because I can't do anything anyway. No, no, no. And who we have is who we have, and we got to take those folks to task. So I'm with you. You're not alone. You don't have to do it by yourself. This is Harlem Network News, and I'm Terri Wisdom, and I'm here to say in 2023, we got this. So let's go. Okay. And a part of how you can get this and go is to support Harlem Network News. We are here for you. Make a donation, even if it's just $5. If you can do more, make it, but continue to do this. This is how we stay on the air. This is how we bring the information to you. This is how we can cover more stories. This is how we can train more people in media. Media is the message, or is the message the media? Media is driving the train, okay? So we need to be at the helm of our own train. And Harlem Network News, you can go to Zelle, which is Harlem Network News @gmail.com. You can go to our Cash App, $ Harlem Network News, and make that happen. Okay, this is about us. We don't have to wait for other people to take care of our own business. It's critical. It's important. If you have questions, you can reach out to me at 646-261-5397, or you can email me at harlemnetworknews@gmail.com. So I want to just go over some of the highlights that have happened in 2021. As I said, the community board worked diligently. There was a 145. Well, first of all, I want to talk about Esplanade Gardens. There are still issues in Esplanade Gardens, which is a large development, Mutualama cooperative development. And there are a lot of things that were, not being repaired, issues with the management. Their pool is still not built and finished. A majority of people that live in Esplanade Gardens are senior citizens. So Harlem Network News has taken up that torch to assist and make sure that things are right at Esplanade Gardens. So we have not forgotten, lest we not forget. And Esplanade Gardens was connected really to the 145 project because there was a developer that wanted to build 2 towers, and originally Nan and Reverend Al Sharpton were going to have a museum in that building. And that development, the 2 huge towers, because people didn't want the towers that high, and also the affordable housing in the buildings was not really affordable. And they were putting the people that were getting the affordable housing in one tower and the other people in another tower, which says they were not going to get the same services. So that was voted down. No, you can't come to our community and just build stuff. However, the developer owns the land. So the developer popped back and said, okay, you don't want housing? Then what we're gonna do is build a truck stop on 145th. We have some big diesel trucks blowing out a lot of pollution and further, disrespecting a community that is already, struggling, wrong. So we got that fight. We got to stand up for that. The community board was in that. I don't want to, I'm trying to go chronologically. This is Harlem Network News, and I'm Terri. So I just want to give a shout out to our HBCUs. Many of the graduations happen May, Mother's Day, which is befitting. I am an alumni of Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. So I'm giving a shout out to Lincoln. It's where I went to school with Gil Scott Heron. He was my schoolmate. It's where a lot of my foundation was, my foundation got laid at Lincoln University. And as my brother Gil, and we used to call him Spider-Man, said, the revolution will not be televised, it will be live. Well, trust me right now, because we're in a technical revolution, it is live and it is televised, and you're seeing it on Harlem Network News and out of Terri Wisdom. Okay, so I want to shout out Howard University, where my son, Ali Wisdom attended, my daughter, Maya attended. They went to school with Chadwick Boseman. He was their classroom. God bless you and keep you. Chad, Taraji P. Henson was there when they were there. So, as you can see, great folks come. I have my granddaughter, Sahar Sosi Gray, graduated from Howard University in May. She graduated in December. She walked in May. So I want to just clap it out and shout out to all those graduates of 2021 and 2020, because it was truly the roughness. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 2021 and 2022 that graduated in May, because of the pandemic, there really wasn't an official graduation at Howard. It was a ceremony, but everyone couldn't come. So I want to clap it up. And Taraji P. Henson, she knocked the ball out the park. She was the keynote speaker. It was so impactful. So I want to just talk about that. And I'm talking about the uplifting things about community. I'm like fired up. I'm sorry. I'm happy. So I want to also move on that our next event that happened in Harlem and the Harlems of the world was Juneteenth. And Juneteenth actually, for the first time, has become a national holiday. Okay, it's under President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. It is a national holiday, Juneteenth, and it represents the 19th of June. And once again, our history is not told, so we got to tell it. We're responsible for telling our stories, but because of media, because of the drumbeat, there were many people in Texas, though emancipation had happened, they did not know they were freed until, like, I don't know if it was a couple of years after but their time that they knew that they were free. And technology wasn't like you could pick up the cell phone and tell somebody, put it on Facebook. It was not that. So they didn't know that they were freed until whatever that year was, June 19th. So we now have been celebrating June 19th, Juneteenth, but it is now an official celebration. So then the next celebration that we have is the International African Arts Festival. And that happens every year, and that's been happening for 50 years. I want to give out a shout out to all those sisters and brothers from the East that started, that was at school. I want to give a special shout out to one of the directors now, Dr. Shabaka, who has really helped to connect Harlem Network News with Dr. Maulana Karenga. And I just want to give a shout out to all the other soldiers of the International African Arts Festival. If you don't know about it, now you know, okay? It happens every year, 4th of July weekend. It is at the park. I think it's Dr. Colonel Young Park. It's right there in Brooklyn on the edge of Dumbo. And it happens every year, 4th of July weekend. It was live again, in person. There were incredible vendors, people coming from all over the world, all kinds of 4 days entertainment in town. So that's another one about this. I want to just give prayers because here in Harlem, Father's Day weekend, I'm sorry, I'm a little out of sync here because International African Arts Festival is 4th of July weekend. But I want to just give up prayers for a young brother, Darius Lee. I believe he was just 21. He was shot and killed on FDR Drive in Parkland Father's Day weekend. He was a senior at Houston Baptist University, a basketball superstar, good kid, and he was just cut down, shot. They still have not resolved who shot him. 9 other people were shot. We don't know what happened. We don't know why, but I just want to give up prayers for him. I've seen flowers for him right on the block where the post office is, 138. That is where he lived. He was loved. They've been having some demonstrations. They had one a couple of weeks ago. So we got to change the paradigm for what is happening to our young people. I am a member of Harlem Mothers and Fathers Save, and during this summertime, we also have a Day of Remembrance. The Day of Remembrance was like downtown City Hall, and then the next Day of Remembrance was uptown, right here in Harlem. Harlem Mothers Save, Jackie Rowe Adams really set that up. We were there, we had speeches, public officials, we had everyone brought a photo of their loved one who was shot and killed. I'm a member also, and then we released photos. So, I just want to shout out and say the good things and the work that the people are doing. Many people are doing the great work, and that needs to continue. We need to continue to engage our public officials, our mayor, everybody to be a part. I want to give out a shout out to Mind Builders in the Bronx because they have a great program for young people. And they celebrated all of the young people. Akra, who was formerly on the puppet show as a music director, bringing the band, he and several others of the Mind Builders program that have the musical theater program for the young people. And my son was a part of it. And it has happened that at least 13 people from that Mind Builders program have passed on. And they're all young people. So there was a celebration and proclamations. So I just want to give a shout out to Mind Builders for the work that they continue to do. And they're right up in the Bronx. They have a beautiful new facility. So if you have young people that are so inclined, there is training, musical theater training, and it is really, really significant, because even if you're not going to become a Broadway actor, it's a place to keep your child engaged, for them to learn culture, for them to stand connected, for them to get morals. I always say that my son, Sam Raymond Wisdom, would help him get out of high school and get into the School of the Arts at Howard University was through my mentors and other mentors like Akra, mentors like Abiel June of the Last Poets. Those are people pour into their children. Mentors matter. So I'm Terri, and this is Harlem Network News, and I thought I could do this real quick because I don't want to keep it too long. You know, I know it's New Year's Day, and actually our show's airing a little bit later than usual, but it'll be up, and y'all will get this. So right after, in August, we had Harlem Week. And Harlem Week is amazing. And it's like 50 some odd years also. And all the vendors were out, the people were out, there was entertainment. The mayor showed up, scholarships were given out. I'm so grateful. My grandson, Messiah Wisdom, you know, who was a Howard University student, the son of my son, he's in computer engineering, received a scholarship from the NAACP. So a lot happened at Harlem Week, but one of the things that Harlem Network News did at Harlem Week, and we're grateful for having a booth at Harlem Week, but we were there to spread the word about bringing our sister Brittany Griner. We were instrumental. We had a petition that went straight to President Cooper, okay? And we, you know, faxed it, we hand delivered it. We had people making video testimonies. They were signing the petition. You know, it was just amazing to just see the care and how people can rally. They made, you know, small donations to try to help us to bring our sister Brittany Griner home. And Brittany Griner, as you know, just most recently came home. A trade was made for her one-on-one. We also were working with a group, which is Win with Black Women, that I'm a part of. They had a petition, which was actually signed, you know, by, I don't even, over 1,000 women, that was in the New York Times. They were also instrumental in helping our first Black Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. You know, so we've been on the move. So I know, I'm clear from the groups that I'm working with that we can make a difference, and that media and the information that happens makes a difference. You can't give up, even though it may seem like you're the only one out there. You know, steer the course. You know, keep the faith. Keep doing what you do. And that's what Harlem Network News has done, because we're believers. We believe in our people, and we need you to believe in us. Okay? So a win with bringing Brittany Griner home, and we were all a part of it. Harlem showed up, showed out. People gave video testimonies. They were like, they need to bring that sister home. I love it. I love my people. This is Terri Wisdom, and I'm Harlem Network News. Next on our annual calendar, we had our annual African American program, and it was fabulous. It was a breakfast at Harlem Tavern with everybody who's who in Harlem, public officials, the community, you know, our businesses. It was great. And then after that, we all assembled and marched. There were marching bands, the Guardians, the Black policemen. It was just, it was amazing. You know, these are the good things. These are the wins that happen for us here in Harlem. We, you know, of course, have had losses. We lost our Dr. Reverend Calvin Otis Butts III, who was pastor for almost 50 years, just celebrated his 50th year as the pastor. He was also the president of Old Westbury College, which he retired from. And Dr. Calvin O. Butts represents a legacy. And that is the legacy of Abyssinian Baptist Church, which is, you know, over 200 years old. one of the oldest churches here, connection with Ethiopia. Um, Abyssinian is a political church. And when I say that, it means that if you want to know what is happening in Harlem, you go to Abyssinian and it's going to be right up on that pulpit exactly what's happening. And the church right now is still moving forward, looking for a pastor. But it has always been that the church was not Dr. Reverend Calvin Christ. The church is the people. And the people at Abyssinian are the people of Harlem and homes of the world, and we're strong. So we're moving forward in that legacy that came from Adam Clayton Powell Jr., first Black congressman that came from his. We want to bring back that Adam Clayton Powell Jr. spirit, that he made sure that we, Harlem, were taken care of. So we're taking up that mantle and we're moving forward. So I just want to give my condolences to the Butts family and to just let you know that we, the church, the body of Christ, we stand strong. Harlem Network News, Terri. I also want to talk about a really extreme win. I was on the committee. Initially, I was on Community Board 10, and then around April, I'm no longer on the board. There was transitions on the board, not anything personal, but you get in a new public official, Christian Richardson Jr. And some people on the board were appointed by the former council person, Councilmember Bill Perkins. So when Christian came in, she wanted to bring in all her own people. So about 12 people were removed from that board, and I was one of them. But like I said, it's not personal. We were the powerhouses of that board. But I remained on, I was on the Parks Department Committee and the Housing Committee. And through the Parks Department Committee, I was a member of the committee that was working to do the gate of the exonerated for the exonerated 5. We then became a task force. So I remained on that task force. And for 2 years, we have been standing strong to, initially we wanted to have a monument built in Central Park, the gate of the a monument for the Central Park exonerated, formerly known as the exonerated 5. I encourage everyone to seek out the Ken Burns documentary on the exonerated. At that time, it was the Central Park time. And I know that WBAI, one of the shows, Mimi Rosenberg actually played some of this documentary. It's way out, okay? So you can go to BAI, look at Mimi Rosenberg, and you can hear them. The whole documentary. I don't know if you can see it, but I mean, hear it. And then the other piece is Ava DuVernay, When They See Us. And that's a powerful drama that really explains this story. And Harlem Network News also live streamed an event where we had the naming of the day. But I don't want to roll back and roll forward. I just want to let you know that for 2 years, I worked closely on this exonerated 5 task. So I was working with Miss Sharon Salam, champion warrior, the mother. She is the mother of Dr. Yusef Salam. We worked with all of the exonerated 5, and that was very empowering. Dr. Yusef Salam, Raymond Santana, or Rise, Anton Crane. We worked with all Kevin Richardson. They were part of the task force. Also, Community Board 10, was part of the task force. The Central Park Conservancy, which really runs and funds Central Park. We also worked with the Parks Department. So this was really a powerful thing. Initially, like I said, we wanted to have a monument, but it ended up to go from monument to a gate. And this was very, very significant because there has not been a gate name in Central Park for 160 years. So this is a gate, it's really an opening to the pond where that wall is around. And this happened. I mean, 2 years we battled to get it happen. And December 19th, there was the naming of the gate. There were the Justice for the Wrongfully Incarcerated, which is Ms. Sharon Salam, as well as all of us worked so collaboratively to make this happen. So this is a major win, and Harlem Network News was a part of it. We were part of the committee. We were part of the media. Major win, a major win for us. Saturday, we had a prayer walk with Joanne Santana, who is the sister of Raymond Santana. She's the person that before. She is Reverend Joanne Santana, and that was powerful. We marched from 147th, which was near where Raymond's house was, straight on down, past all the homes where exonerated five lived, and then we were at the state office with it. It was powerful. State Senator Cordell Clear was there, and Reverend Taylor. It was just so impactful. That was Saturday. Then Sunday, we had a wonderful event, and that event was at the Museum of the City of New York. And I want to give shout outs to Prince because he knows how to grow it. I mean, there were speakers, there was art by formerly, exonerated people and incarcerated people. It was just powerful. And it really laid the groundwork for Sunday with the speakers, and we had music and food, and it just slid us right in. So by the time we hit the ground running on the 19th, which represents 20 years of their exoneration, it was just powerful. And there were over 500 people there, and it's winter, but it wasn't cold. The situation wasn't heavy. It's not heavy. He's my brother or my sister. It was not heavy. We were so happy to be in the thing, and culture was woven into it. We started with drumming, and that was Baba Don. We had libation with Reverend Rhonda McLean, who's a drama therapist, and it was just so powerful. I mean, just powerful. Imam Tariq, did prayer, Reverend Sharpton did prayer. The mayor came, and we were just, that was important. Mayor Adams, you did the right thing. We needed you there. We needed to put a stamp on it. But it was just powerful. The list goes on. I mean, Sharon Salam, how she spoke, how the Five spoke. Then we had an event at the Africa Center. Then after that, in the evening, we had a kind of conversation with Exonerated Five. It was a powerful thing. And I'm still flying from it. So those are wins in our community. And that's what we want to talk about. We know we got problems. We know we got homeless. We know we got violence. We know we got education problems. But these wins show us that if we get involved, we can change the paradigm. If media gets involved, we can change the paradigm. So quickly, because I know I'm out of time, I'm Terri Business, it's Harlem Network News. I want you to help us with our financial campaign. We need to reach our $4,000 goal by Friday, January 6th, which is Free King's Day. And it is also the birthday of my son, Ali Samuel Wisdom. So put it out there, make it happen. Go to our Zelle, go to our Cash App. Okay, so other great things that have happened are there's a great exhibit at the New York Historical Society, right there on the side of the Museum of Natural History. I think it's at 80th Street. And there's a beautiful exhibit, Black is Beautiful. And that represents the photography of Kwame Brathwaite, one of our renowned photographers. He's also the brother of Alambe Brath, who was mentioned several times in the Gate of the Exonerated as being very involved, as well as Roger Brown. I also wanted to just say that we have our poet laureate, Abby O'Doon of the original Last Poets that created an original poem for the Exonerated Five. So I'm telling you, I'm still flying because shows what we can do when we steer the course and we work collectively. We're not all going to get along all the time, but I'm going to tell you, in this 2-year program that we were dealing, nobody took their turns and went home. Nobody. So it's a blessing, a blessing, a blessing. So, it's an example of what can happen. So anyway, I was talking about the New York Historical Society and this exhibit with Kwame Braithwaite, one of our renowned photographers. It features the Grandassa models, which came out of a group called AJAZ, and the exhibit is called Black is Beautiful. It will still be up until January 5th. It's a must-see. We did have the Grandassa models speaking on Harlem Network News, and we're going to have them again before the show closes. I also just want to give a real shout out to Bob Gums, the graphic designer. He was a part of that whole AJAZ movement, and we salute him. Many of his pictures, he is in that exhibit, and we will be doing the show on Bob Gums, lest we not forget condolences to his family, Sister Ida, son, Brother Bob will be missed, but he will not be forgotten. He contributed. Ida and Bob did Kwanzaa books and cards, calendars, you name it. These are our people. These are the marching. They were living the principles of Kwanzaa. So I'm going to close out by just letting you know that there was an amazing event December 30th. I'm in January, so I'm trying to get it together. But December 30th at the Apollo Theater, we had Regeneration Night, and that was by Forces of Nature. And that was just so powerful. They are one of the most formidable dance companies in our community. If you don't know about them, then you need to know. You need to know who we are and who's we are. Baba Abdel Salam, that is the head of Forces of Nature, and his wife, the creative director, Sister Queen Diane Harvey Salam, put this amazing program together. They worked with some of the students from the Children's Zone. They have a company with them. Baba Abdel is also the director of Dance Africa for BAM, and it happens. And I apologize, as I was going through the year, I forgot in May, in the Memorial Day weekend, we had Dance Africa, and it was live. It was amazing. I also, as I'm pulling up, so that's another win that we have, and that's like, about 50 years old. Or, these are our institutions. These are our real holidays. And I also, as we're in November, and it happened November 5th, the same day that my son transitioned, Sister Andara, and of the Sabah Afrique, the wife of Baba Wali, dancer extraordinaire, her full name, Myrtle Pinus King, daughter, she's the niece of Pearl Pinus, oh my goodness, and she transitioned. She was teaching a dance class at Bedside Restoration, and she was doing the Sabah dance, and Sabah, you have your hands, and she jumped and she said, wow, wow, which means yes, yes, yes. And at that moment, she transitioned. She was amazing to dance with her for many years. So this is our community. We got to tell our own stories. But getting back, I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News. But getting back to our story, I had the honor of being asked to be an elder at the Regeneration Night for Kwanzaa. I was literally on the stage. I had a speaking part. I had a child that was my mentor. It was at the Apollo. So I was just, I mean, I'm so heartfelt. I felt like I had to tell the story of Harlem Network News, and then I had to, speak to my young person and let them know that I was going to give them this symbol that is grand, and that now that the symbol was in that the future of our people is in their hand. So it was just so empowering, and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity. And so I want to shout out all the wonderful things that happened. And most of the things that I've talked about, if you look back at our YouTube, we did shows on the Mo. We did shows on the We did interviews on them. So, and we'll do things about you too. Whatever you're doing, we're going to be looking for business sponsors, but I just want to ask you to help us meet our goal. We've got to get $4,000 by January 6th. We're about $1,000 in. Let's make that happen. Everybody, each one, give something. $5, $10. If you can give 100, 500, 1,000, make it happen. Reach out to us, because the work that we're doing is important. So happy New Year, Harlem and Harlems of the world. We about the positive. We about this change. Whatever bad things happen, we know how to absolutely turn it around and make it an opportunity. So let's go. Harlem Network News. Reach out to us at 646-261-5397, Harlem Network News at gmail.com. You can Zelle us at Harlem Network News at gmail.com. Cash App us at $ Harlem Network News. And I want to just give gratitude to my partner, Brother Bernard Ruby, who is the mindset of Harlem Network News, the visionary of Harlem Network News. I'm grateful. Ashe. And thank you, Dr. Mallory, Dr. Shabbat, Saboon Sabat. Thank you. And thank you all. Thank you all. Thank my sister, Reverend Rhonda McQueen. Thank you all. And because I cannot do this by myself, it takes a Terri Wisdom, Harlem Network News. Blessings. Happy Kwanzaa, Imani faith. Let's all keep the faith. And I know we can. Yes, we can. And yes, we will. Thank you. 2023. We got this. Thank you.